welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of animated awesome, and the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today we are going to be talking about the second episode of the Captain America cartoon. But before we get too much further into it, before I forget, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell so you get notified of content every day. And yeah, there probably won't be a poll in for Spotify. But I do have a little housekeeping news here that I'm engaged a professional artist to create a new Zenorama logo. So probably happen by the first of the year, maybe. We will see. We just don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. And the sketches he's already done, one of them looks amazing. So should be great. All right, let us get on to this second episode of the Gantry Lawrence Captain America series. As you all know, it's kind of a limited animation sort of thing, but it'll be all right. All right, let's go here.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield.
And that is the truth. But it's funny, he in these first two episodes, as you'll see, last week's and this week's, he has not thrown his mighty shield very often at all. But it'll do. So today's episode was first broadcast in syndication on September 12th, 1966, making it almost 60 years old. 58, right? No, 50, well, almost 60. We'll just go with that. It's based on this whole series. It's based on Tales of Suspense 66 through 68. Those were still the 8 to 10 page stories about Cap and sharing a book with Iron Man, as you saw in the original one. But this time it's all about the Red Skull. The 3 chapters were The Sentinel and the Spy, The Fantastic Origin of the Red Skull, and Lest Tyranny Triumph. They put the last one in first place, but other than that, they run pretty much in order. And it really, they do a good enough job with the narration there. So this art that you see there is by Don Heck this time, and not, oh, wait a minute. Pardon me. That was for good old Iron Man. Let me get back up here. It is by Jack Kirby with Chick Stone as one of his better inkers in that time frame. Colorist, we don't know. Written by Stan, of course, and lettered by Artie Simek. Edited by Stan. All right, so you'd think these tanks on the lawn there, that's the Red Skull's house. Pretty nifty. Very well guarded, too, you'd think. And he's still alive. Once again, this is probably a semi-retelling of one of the 40s stories. For some reason, I don't know why, but Stan and Jack decided to, after Cap had been brought forward, he was in the Avengers, but they decided on retelling some of his 40s stories and adding a little more, at the time, a modern twist. These were published March 11th, 1965, making this first episode Tales of Suspense, Volume 1, 66, just a month older than your humble agent. So modern. Cap would have been gone for roughly 20 years-ish by then, but he'd already been in the Avengers for several times, and they wanted to cash in, of course, on his popularity. So why not tell some, do some stories that they don't have to worry about too much continuity with. This guy here is a double agent in a POW camp. He's a German spy for the Red Skull, and they sacrifice one of their own who immediately gets shot right there in comic book land, right on television. Oh, the days when that would happen on children's syndicated television. But, I think kids knew that cartoons were not real. Maybe Batman and maybe live action stuff they were confused about, but although the legend has it your humble agent at a very young age decided he could be Spider-Man by swinging from the drapes, that did not work. So perhaps they are a bit gullible. Fortunately, your humble agent wasn't hurt. You can tell they've updated it because that is a Jack Kirby weapon right there. I mean, look at it. And they use the same thing, just animated as zap. Zap. Cap, of course, this he's gotten away and he's using this. It's from Project Vanish. It makes things vanish, dematerialize. It doesn't just turn them invisible. But Cap throws his shield. This guy can't be hurt because he tricks him into turning the Vanisher up to full blast, and it blows up in his face. Kaboom! And then he gets captured. Cap gets injured, and Bucky finds him, and there's a Sergeant Duffy who's complaining, still complaining. So it's a lot of action in 8 to 10 pages. I don't know. Does it say how many pages these were? I mean, I would assume they're about 20 pages, 21 pages maybe of story, so maybe 10 pages. Let's see. Let me scroll down here a bit more. Gestapo, Schultz. Okay. All right. So, and then they're ordered to go on vacation. They get leave, and Steve doesn't want to. And Thunderbolt there, that's the general, so it's not even Thunderbolt. Couldn't be Thunderbolt Ross, but maybe his father. Wouldn't surprise me. Looks like him, doesn't it? But they get torpedoed by a U-boat, and Cap and Bucky take. You know, it's a nice shot there. I'm sure it's probably directly from the comic book because all of them were. Let's see. Let me get over here to 67. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Let's Tyranny Triumph. James Buchanan Barnes. Oh, there's Cap doing some cartwheels to miss being shot at. Then he actually did them. So they animated odd stuff, but when they had to do motion, they would. And it's good animation. It's just. And look who pops up. Dun, dun, dun. Cap gets captured, nerve gas, and woken up with a dousing of water from a beefy German, blonde-haired, blue-eyed German. And now, diddly, 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 flashback to the Red Skull. You can see he's thinking of his past, where, he was never named as Johann Schmidt back then, I don't believe. But, they've done so much retconning of all of these characters. So he's there, and he's worshiping his leader as a bellboy. That rat there, and that doesn't look like Herr Schnickelgruber. So the cartoon changed it for some reason. Maybe they didn't want to have the Chief Ratsy. I don't know, but that's supposed to be him. He doesn't have his personality or anything. I should have drawn one in there. But you can't deface Jack Kirby artwork. So he looks deep into Johann's eyes and realizes he hates humanity as well. So, but now the Red Skull is more feared than Herr Schnickelgruber. So, but this is a nice little montage here of him causing war and his face just embiggens right into the screen. So I like that. He slugs Cap for smarting off to him because Cap's tied up, and now the drug has taken effect. What's wrong? I can't move. And immediately he calls for Schultz. Schultz! Oh, wait, not that Schultz. That Schultz. I don't think this Schultz had appeared yet. But nobody says Schultz anymore, do they? Because that's who they're going to think of. Thank you, MeTV, for keeping Hogan's Heroes alive. Bucky's been captured, but apparently nobody recognizes his outfit. And they're lined up to be shot. The Germans trick him and fire blanks and say, "You'll never know. You will never know when the shells will be real, foolish Schweinish Amerikaners and prisoners." But then Bucky takes care of that. I mean, look, he's wiped out 4 of them. He's knocked this guy. He's flattened this guy. Literally flattened this guy. And somewhere he's found a potato masher, as they would call that the Jerry's used. Blows up whatever that. Cap is assigned. He's brainwashed. He's under the command of the Red Skull, and he will kill the Allied Supreme Commander, which I don't know who that would have been at this point in time, but he looks like Eisenhower, but I don't think it's supposed to be him. chronologically, maybe on Earth 616. And he's hail Hydra, or heal Hitler, as the Black Commando would say in the great Secret Code serial. We're gonna have to do a serial review because they're 12 to 15 episodes. We could do that. That'd be lots of fun. We have talked about Cap's appearance in the serials, and Herr Schnickelgruber is afraid, but the Skull says he's completely under our command, and he's healing him. He's healing him again. So he decides to punch Cap in the mush, but his reflexes are too fast. Ha! I said ha ha. And the Skull tells him as much. And he also tells him, you don't have to fear me yet. So there's a B-7 bomber, or an H-7, or a 60s, I don't know. A different one here marking than there. But you can tell it's the Skull's, because it's got a red tail end, right? They parachute down into probably Paris, or England maybe. And that's their spy there, or the counteragent. Take off. And Bucky shows up because he's escaped, and he was on the plane too. In fact, did we see him? Well, he's one of these nameless grunts. But you can see he's dressed as him, and he's brat-a-tat-tack. And there's our Supreme Commander, and Cap's gonna just shoot him. But he can't. The drug is wearing off. You will shoot him, even if I have to shoot him using my arm, my own hand. But the drug wears completely off. Judo throw. Everything's settled down. They salute the Supreme Commander. Now, later on, some of this would be retconned because most of Cap's 40s adventures were just timely comic books because they existed. Superheroes and comic books could exist at the same time, much like cowboy comics could exist when there were cowboys. Sorry, Watchmen, you're far be it from me to criticize Alan Moore, but there's a little plot hole right there. And Cap and Buck are happy. So all's well that ends well. That's it. So it's a quick. These cartoons move in a hurry because, of course, the comic book stories were only, 3 episodes. So it worked out perfectly. Our next episode looks like it's going to come right from the Avengers. Two very separate. Oh, I know which ones these are. My knowledge of the Avengers is far greater than my singular knowledge of Captain America. So we'll look forward to that. And until our next assignment, produced by Gantry Lawrence and the American Retired People's Films, I guess. That's why they didn't move that much. All right. Until our next assignment, agents, get that shield ready so you can...
If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty heat.
I'm afraid the district attorney won't recognize Miss Richards when he finds her a withered mummy.
The commissioner's been alibying his failure to turn up anything in these Purple Death murders.
You remember the commissioner and I have cleaned up crime waves in this town before.
Yes, that mysterious Captain America did most of your work for you.
I feel certain that this new crime wave will bring him out of hiding to help us. Where's Gail Richards?
Where you'll never find her.